So this is one of those watches that doesn't really try to hide what it is. It shows up loud, confident, and instantly noticeable the moment it's on your wrist. This is the Hublot Big Bang 301.px.130.rx.174 diamonds in 18K rose gold with a 45mm case. And yeah, it looks exactly like what that sounds like. Premium, bold, and very intentional. Now the first thing you notice is the size. 45mm is not subtle by any standard. This is not a watch that disappears under a cuff or blends into the background. It sits on the wrist like a statement piece first, timepiece second. And that's clearly the design language Hublot is going for here. Then you get hit with the materials. 18K rose gold across the case gives it that warm, rich shine that immediately separates it from stainless steel or titanium watches. Add the diamond detailing, and you're not just looking at a luxury watch anymore. You're looking at something closer to high-end jewelry that also happens to tell time. But what's interesting is how Hublot balances all of this. Because on paper, rose gold, diamonds, and a 45mm case sounds like too much. Almost overwhelming. But in person, the design actually holds together better than expected. That's largely because of Hublot's design identity. They lean heavily into this modern, industrial aesthetic. You've got sharp case edges, exposed structural elements, visible screws on the bezel, and a layered dial architecture that adds depth instead of flatness. It's not trying to look traditional or minimal. It's trying to look engineered. And that's where the Big Bang name starts to make sense. Now on wrist, the experience is exactly what you'd expect from a piece like this. You feel it. There's weight, there's presence, and there's this constant reminder that you're wearing something expensive. But it's not uncomfortable. The rubber strap actually does a lot of work here, balancing out the weight of the gold case and making it more wearable than you'd think at this level. Still, this is not an everyday watch for most people. This is not something you throw on for convenience. It's not meant for subtle environments or low-key settings. It's built for occasions where presence matters. And that leads into the bigger question. What are you actually paying for here? Because once you get into this category of luxury, it stops being just about materials or movement specifications. You're paying for design language, brand positioning, exclusivity, and perception. Hublot knows exactly who this watch is for. It's not competing with minimalist dress watches or tool watches. It's competing in the space of visibility. It's for people who want their watch to be noticed without explanation. The dial itself is actually more restrained than the exterior suggests. Even with all the layering and texture, readability is still surprisingly solid. It doesn't become chaotic, which is kind of impressive given everything going on visually around it. And that's one of the key things about this watch. This controlled complexity. There's a lot happening, but it's not random. Everything is placed to create depth, reflection, and attention without completely losing function. Now, when you zoom out and look at the value side of things, this is where opinions split pretty hard. Some people will look at this and immediately say it's overpriced, that you're paying a huge premium for branding and aesthetics rather than pure technical innovation. Others will see it differently. They'll see it as exactly what modern luxury is supposed to be, expressive, rare, and emotionally driven rather than purely functional. And honestly, both perspectives make sense depending on how you look at watches. Because this isn't trying to be a quiet achievement piece. It's trying to be a visible one. There are watches you wear because you love horology. And there are watches you wear because you want presence. This one sits firmly in the second category. It's not subtle. It's not minimal. And it's definitely not trying to be your only watch. It's trying to be the watch that gets noticed first. And depending on your style, that might be exactly the point. At the end of the day, the Hublot Big Bang in this configuration is less about telling time and more about telling a story. A story of design, of luxury materials, and of presence that doesn't apologize for being loud. And that's really where it lands. Not for everyone, but very intentionally made for the ones it is for.